Hi, I'm Rose McDonough, and I am a retired family and consumer science teacher. One of the things that I taught was sewing. I used a sewing machine, but I really taught a lot of hand sewing, believing that most people need to do repairs more than they need to do big sewing projects. And today I would like to go ahead and teach you a few hand sewing techniques, and then my next video will be hand sewing and making your own masks, since that's the time of our lives right now that we're using masks when we go out. I'd like to show you a few things about threading your needle and hand sewing, because for me, my husband's been wearing this shirt, I don't know, for about a month now. Every time I see him wear it, I keep saying, "You have a hole in that shirt. Don't you know somebody who can sew?" Well, he does, and so today I pulled it out of his cupboard so that I can actually show you how to repair the hole in this shirt. The first thing that you need to do is get a needle and some thread. And how much thread do you need? I don't know. That's the answer. I don't know. You want to get what's comfortable for you to use. So for me, I've got my arms beside me, my elbows tucked in. I don't know. And from there, I'm then going to cut the thread. Weirdly enough, I cut the thread at an angle. It doesn't seem like it's much at an angle, but it is, so that I have a smaller edge here to try to put in. You've probably heard about a camel going through an eye of a needle or something like that. Well, this is hard to do. And I just said to Brooke moments ago as we were preparing for this, I usually lick the end of my thread and I can't do that. So I'm hoping really hard that I was able to do that. Hooray. Now you're going to bring your threads down and double them and give a little twist. If Grandma tells you that you have to knot the end of it, then you do what Grandma tells you, but I'm not going to tell you to knot. I'm going to tell you to lock the thread into the fabric. And the way that you do that is you take a small bite in the fabric. My needle is behind there. And then you push the fabric back on. You pull it through and you leave a very small tail. Go back to where you were, pushing the fabric on to the needle, coming back through. That's 2 times, and then you go 1 in, back out, and that's in 3 times. You see how hard I'm pulling it? It's not coming out. If I did that with just a knot, I would pull the knot out. That's one of the reasons that you want to just lock it into the fabric. That's what that's called, is locking in. Once you lock it in, you can begin sewing. If you have never sewn before, I suggest that you find a little part. If you got a shirt on and you're going to wear it tucked in, go down to the tail before you're fixing anything and practice the lock-in stitch. Perfect. The next stitch that you need to learn how to do is called a long stitch. And I like to use the example of playing football. When you play football, it's your turn for the ball. You go back behind, you huddle up, and you decide what to do. And you don't tell anybody what your play is going to be, and you sneak your needle through, or you sneak your play through, and once you get that, you come back and huddle up. Okay, I still have some red thread here. I actually cut a little bit longer, so I'm ready to go. I don't know without locking it in. And I have 2 different colors of fabric to be able to use as an example for you. You have to decide how you're comfortable. Some people work this way, some people work this way. I work opposite, which means I work from right to left, because that's what's comfortable for me. I'm going to go in again, peek your needle through to the other side and back up again. And I'm going to pull it through, leave the small tail, go back to where I was, peek it through, come back up. That was 2. Everything in button sewing and repair work seems to be in 3s. So you want to do 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I had a little problem. Back it out. It started to knot up. That's again why you're using what you're comfortable with. If you're pulling the threads through and someone's sitting beside you, you're going to poke them in the eye. Here we go with our football game. I'm up here. I'm going a little bit behind it. I'm going to huddle up and I'm sneaking the ball through, and the ball's going to come out over here. There I am. I'm huddling up, which means I'm going behind. I'm not telling anybody where my play is, and I'm sneaking the ball through. Got the ball, huddling up, sneaking the ball through. Behind it, sneak the play through. I'm going to get rid of that pin so I don't accidentally catch on it again. I'm going back, sneak the play through. You can make very tiny stitches, you can make big stitches, but every time you do a stitch like this, once I pull it, it's not going to go back. It's tight this way. So I've got a dotted line on this side and I have a solid line on this side. And if you look in between at your stitches, I always say it looks like how I draw birds in the sky because I'm not an artist. But it's a nice tight. Each of these are a tight stitch so that if it unravels, again, it should stop so far through. I'm almost out of thread. I'm not out of my line, but I'm almost out of my thread. So what I want to do before I run out of thread is the same thing that you do at the beginning. I'm going to lock it in. I'm going to go back once, twice, but this time I'm going to do one extra part to it just because this is how I finish it out. And the last time I'm going to go through is I'm going to take my thread and wrap it around my needle so that I'm making a slip knot. Once I've done that, for sure it's not going to go anywhere. And I've cut my thread, and all I have to look at this and give a pull. It's not coming undone. It came through just a little bit, not enough because it's locked in. So you're going to go work on the wrong side. So the right sides, or the pretty sides of your clothing, are together, and you're going to the wrong side. And I need to find a spot, and I've got a hole right here. So I'm going to go back here where I know the hole had been. And I've already threaded my needle with, I don't know how much thread, what I needed. And I'm saying, all right, the hole starts about right there. Let's go back right before where the hole is. And I'm going to lock it in. 1, leave that tail, and 2, and 3. And again, I work from right to left. I've seen people who work the opposite way. I've seen left-handed people who work from left to right. Whatever works for you is what you should do. If up and down, I explained it to somebody one time, you're going up a step, sliding down 2 steps, up a step, sliding down 2. Whatever analogy works for you, take the piece behind, move the thread forward. 1 step behind, move it forward. 1 step behind, move it forward. That's all you need to do. You can make very small stitches. I'm making larger stitches
because I'm trying to get this done, within a few minutes so that you're not having to watch this video forever and ever and ever for me to get to the end.
Let me just check. Am I at the end, past where the hole had been? No.
Well, there's just a little bit more, so I'm going to go a little bit further along here. Hopefully I'm not going to run out of thread before I get there. 2 more stitches, I should be past where I was, and
we're good to go. I'm going to go, and 1, and 2, and the 3rd time, and I'm just going to slip knot it around, wrap it around, pull it through. It makes a knot. If you feel like it's not tight enough, do it one more time. It's a slip knot right behind and to the left, pull it through, it makes a knot. Doesn't rhyme, I know, but it has a little cadence to it that's kind of nice. And that's it. Your needle should be in a couple of places. It should be in your fabric, it should be between your fingers, or it should be some other place safe so that it doesn't fall on the floor and someone accidentally steps on it. So if I take this over and I look, it's not perfect. It certainly isn't machine perfect. I'm pretty sure no one else is going to notice it again, that there had been a hole in here just a few minutes ago. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to learn how to hand sew a mask to wear outside, come back for our next video. Thank you.